G'day, welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how I fit up my full tang knife handles. So the first thing I've done here is I've drilled some large holes to lighten the blade, and it also lets the epoxy reach the other handle scale and it just creates a stronger bond. Then what I've done is I've glued my two handle scales together with a small amount of super glue, and I've ground them to the shape of the knife handle. I've done the same thing with the bolster material. It's at this point that I usually drill the hole for the bolster, and I use the blade and a punch to line it up correctly. Here I'm grinding the curve onto the bolster. I then use a square on the belt grinder like this, and that just helps get the handle scales to line up properly with the bolster so that there's no gaps. Okay, what I've done now is I've wrapped up the blade, have put a little pin into our bolster, and then I've lined it up on the handle, and I've pushed these two glued together wooden handle as hard as I can up against the bolster, and now I'm going to clamp it and drill it. So I just ground some bevels onto the bolster. I may grind them a little bit deeper once they're on the knife. It's very important to hand sand this part of the bolster, as you will not be able to access this once it's on the knife, and I'm hand sanding this to about 4000 grit. Okay, so the fit up is actually really good, no gaps. I'm going to go ahead and glue it all up. I'm just going to put some clamps on it, and I'll see you guys in about a day. Okay, so just finished the glue up. It's nice and dry now. First thing we're going to do is grind these pins down till about 1 mil is sticking out, and then we're going to peen them. And then the next thing we're going to do is just profile around the edges of the handle before we get into the actual shaping. Okay, so I've just ground the profile on the outside. Now I've blacked out where I want to grind to roughly, and now it's time to start putting some shape into this handle. Okay, now I've finished the shaping. Now I'm just gonna neaten it up with some hand sanding, and then we'll give it an oil. Okay, now as you can see, I've finished it. I started with 320 grit, and now I've finished with 1200 grit. I'm just going to be oiling it now, and the oil that I'm using is this boiled linseed oil. I'm going to do 3 coats of that, and then I will seal it off with beeswax.